Daniel Jones and the New York Giants mutually agreed to part ways today. I think that's the key here, the word mutually. This was not something the Giants decided on their own. Daniel Jones, in fact, agreed to it. This is something I'm calling Operation No More Funny Business. Let's talk about the 3 reasons I believe they actually came to this conclusion. But first, let's talk about what we know. We know, like I said, it was mutual. This wasn't one party deciding for themselves and the other holding out on it. No, this was something they both wanted, and we can assume it's the result of him not winning games the last 6 years. You know what else? We also know the last 6 years have been horrible for Daniel Jones. I went ahead and looked at all receivers who've caught passes for him. You're telling me you want to throw to these guys? Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay, it sounds like the beginning of a joke. These 3 walked into the bar. The bartender says, you guys aren't catching anything. Here's the deal. His best season was 2002. These were his leading receivers. Yes, that's right. Richie James was his number 2 receiver. Number 4 on the list was Saquon Barkley, his running back. The best receiver, the 4th best receiver on Daniel Jones' best year was his running back. Guys, Daniel Jones has had no help, and the one piece around him that they could have used to build up Daniel Jones, they let go to the Philadelphia Eagles. So no, I'm not surprised that he did not succeed. Now, here's the deal. You may not have set up Daniel Jones to fail, but like I said, you did not set him up to succeed. Here's the problem. I think this is deeper than football. I actually do not believe the reason he is leaving the New York Giants is football-based. We're going to talk about those 3 reasons in just a second. This is his QBR, and I know QBR doesn't tell the whole story, but Daniel Jones this season is ranked 26. Like we said, he has no help, but look who's right there in front of him, barely. Aaron Rodgers. C.J. Stroud, not very far up the list. Looking below him, Dak Prescott, Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, for crying out loud. The expected rookie of the year is having a worse season on paper than Daniel Jones. So what is going on? Here's my theory. This is my first theory, all right? It is alleged that at training camp 6 years ago, when the rookies had to go around and do their little icebreaker and introduce themselves to the team, one of the questions that the GM asked them is, what kind of pizza do you like? Why? Because New York has a very specific type of pizza. Well, Daniel Jones said that his favorite type of pizza was deep dish. That's a problem because New York, their pizza is thin crust, foldable yet crispy, typically sold in big slices, topped with just tomato sauce and low moisture mozzarella cheese. Don't even know what that means. Now, here's the deal. That does not fit Daniel Jones' palate. He's a deep dish guy. So when we say mutual, we understand that now Jones, agreeing to be cut from this team or leave this team, he is able to relocate to a place where his pizza preference is more geographically inclined. Now, here's the thing I want to talk about. I believe we might be seeing a Sam Darnold effect. What does that mean? Take a guy who was quarterback for a New York team that didn't play very well. He gets traded or signed by another team as the backup, right? As the backup potentially, but the backup undergoes surgery. J.J. McCarthy out for the year. Now he gets pushed in this position, and what do you know? He's playing darn well, all right? Maybe these New York quarterbacks aren't bad after all. Maybe they're just in the wrong system. You see what I've highlighted here? Caleb Williams. Are you connecting these dots, ladies and gentlemen? I believe that Daniel Jones is going to sign with the Chicago Bears. Why? He'll be a great backup, a great mentor to Caleb Williams, but more importantly, they have his favorite type of pizza, which is deep dish pizza. Here's theory number 2. Theory number 2 deals with his nickname. Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the New York Giants, has multiple nicknames, including Danny Dimes and Vanilla Vic. I have never heard of Vanilla Vic, and I don't think we should say it. Personally, I don't think that's a necessary nickname. We'll go with Danny Dimes because that's what this theory deals with. Now, what is a dime? Why call a guy Danny Dimes? Well, in football, it refers to an accurate pass, a pass that hits the target accurately, high-quality pass, much like a dime is a relatively small but significant value, accurate throws, delivering the ball effectively. You get it. But also, you know what a dime also is? A quick look on Urban Dictionary. It's $10 worth of the weed, if you will. All right? A dime bag, if you will. Maybe Daniel Jones's nickname is not about his accurate passes. Maybe it's about him being involved in an organized crime syndicate. All right. Now, after a quick Google search of if people deal drugs in New York, I found that crimes related to drugs are a serious problem in New York. You know where he lives? New York. So my theory, like I said, Daniel Jones was actually involved in an organized crime drug trafficking scheme. And when you think about how he even gets involved in that, look no further than the mafia, which is located and most active in New York's metropolitan area. You know where New York's metropolitan area is? Right there. You know where that arrow's pointing? MetLife Stadium, where Danny Dimes has spent the last 6 years. Don't call it a coincidence now, because I think there might be something to this, all right? Now, what about Vanilla Vic? Yes, it's not uncommon for mob members to have multiple nicknames, often depending on who they're with or what situation they're in, all right? So some are more well-known than others. Danny Dimes, awfully well-known. But Vanilla Vic, what else does Vanilla Vic maybe play into? Maybe give the guy a nickname after another quarterback who plays similar on the field, but may dabble in certain things off the field, potentially felonious activities, right? We know Michael Vick was convicted of a felony, and he goes to prison on his accounts, right? Maybe Daniel Jones is also involved in some illegal activity, thus explaining his nickname Vanilla Vic, all right? Theory 3 also ties in with his nickname, Danny Dimes, because what else is a dime outside of maybe a drug reference or an accurate pass? Well, it's a beautiful girl, a perfect 10. I mean, come on. As heterosexual as I may be, I recognize that his face is geometrically proportioned, it's symmetrical, it's all the things, right? After another quick Google search, here are some other pictures that I think women would find attractive. Now, I didn't just stop there. I went and I got in the field and I did some research and I messaged some women that I trust most of all, okay? And I said, objectively attractive, yes or no? The first response I got was, I'm sat. I didn't know what that meant. I put a question mark. We'll talk about it in a second. The next one was, yeah. I think the yeah is more about this is obvious rather than I'm hesitant to answer because I'm still trying to decide. Like, this is more like, yeah, he's a 9 versus, yeah, he's a 7, right? You following me here? Okay. What does I'm sat mean? Used when a woman is submissive for a man because of certain characteristic. Okay, so she sent me a TikTok of this video, and here's kind of the premise of this meme. A woman would say, "I'm done with this conversation." The man would say, "I'm sit back down," or "sit back down," and the woman would say, "I'm sat," implying that she's going to listen to him because he is so attractive. Okay, do we understand now? Daniel Jones is attractive. So what does him have? What does this have to do with him being cut? There's plenty of attractive men in the NFL that still have a job. Aaron Rodgers as one of them. Similar QBR. Okay. Now, why OnlyFans? It's arguably less taxing on the body. I'm sure studies could be done, but we'll just go with that premise right now. You get to create your own schedule. More specifically, he will now get Sundays off if he chooses to, but hey, he wants to flash a few pics on Sunday. He's more than welcome to. It also allows you to work remotely. All right, looking at the top 10 highest earning creators in 2024 on OnlyFans, we see some in the multi-millions. Now, this would be a significant drop in pay for Daniel Jones. However, it is said that happiness peaks at $75,000 in income, and I think he could make well more than that on OnlyFans. Now, of course, it does say economists say it's higher by a lot, but that didn't fit my argument, so I just crossed it out so you wouldn't get distracted by that. The point is, he could support himself with an OnlyFans, okay? Now, 9 minutes after I sent this original message and 2 of my friends reply, you see there's 3 people in this message, the last person said, I wouldn't not hit. So, like, that's 3 for 3. That he is attractive. So just, I want you to know that whether you think he's attractive or not, people would subscribe to his OnlyFans, given the opportunity. So where does this leave us? Daniel Jones gets cut, right? And you may be tempted to say it's because the Giants don't win. I may be tempted to say he has some other things on his mind. So here's the ultimate conclusion. Daniel Jones agreed to walk from the Giants to distance himself from his drug-dealing mafia ties in order to pursue a career that is less harmful to his body and allows him to pose nude while eating deep dish pizza. It's just a theory. And you're not going to hear it on ESPN.